Hi everyone and welcome to my unboxing video of Unicorn Overlord Monarch Edition. Again, a little bit late with this limited edition because lately for some reason I've been kind of forgetting to pre-order these limited editions, so I ended up getting it a little bit later, but this was definitely one of those limited editions that I simply had to get, even though I ended up paying a little bit of extra to get it because of how late I was buying it. Because first of all, it's Vanillaware's new game and I always love Vanillaware's character artwork. It's rather unique art style when it comes to like characters 2D sprite artwork. It's so unique and easy to recognize their games. So I'm excited for the art book here, but on top of that it's rather unique limited edition in the sense that there's also original card game in here. It's not like first time ever this has happened. For example, here's the Covenant Labyrinth of Galleria limited edition, and it also came with little original card game with it. So it's not first time ever for something like this, but it's still one of these kind of like my favorite type of extra item in limited editions, because I do like board games and especially card games, anything to do with like deck building. I'm always into that. Either physical card games or even digital ones. Lately I've been playing quite a bit of Palatro lately, that kind of like poker style indie game, which at first seemed like rather simple card game. You simply make poker hands with deck of playing cards, but once you get into it, it becomes rather exciting game. But anyway, enough about other games and card games. Let's now concentrate on the Unicorn Overlord here. Comes with little slip cover. And it's rather heavy box. I believe it's just a little bit over 1 kilogram. And I think it should open something like this. Yeah. Wow. I really like this box design. And nice little handles here. So pull out the contents, but it's rather tight. Is it easier if I... Yeah. Maybe I should just do this. So here's the Unicorn Overlord card game. Seems like nice little set of cards in there. Game itself, of course. Next we have art book. Oh, and those food images in Vanillaverse games always make you so hungry. Let's go through the art book at the end of the video. And last item here is the 16-bit arrange music album. Sounds like interesting idea to have this like 16-bit arrange version of the soundtrack with the limited edition. Yeah, I love the box. It's rather cute. Tiny little tightly packed box. So we start with the soundtrack. There we go. So Unicorn Overlord 16-bit arranged music album. It's kind of fitting. So we have 10 tracks on both discs. 2-disc soundtrack. And yeah, what I was saying was that it feels kind of fitting for the style of game, because it kind of old style strategy game. So it feels kind of fitting to have this 16-bit arrange of the soundtrack. And it feels rather unique idea. And I do like the kind of pixelated font here as well. So yeah, rather unique idea, and I do like it. I'm excited to hear those 16-bit versions of the songs in the game. Let's leave the art book at the end, and I believe the card game is going to take quite a while, so let's also check the game box already at the beginning here. So here's the game box itself. Those tasty foods. Disc, and I believe there's some download codes in here. Yeah, there's one and another one. I believe this is the download code for the did I show the code already? But yeah, I think it's like the Vanillaverse. How do you say it? It includes like items related to their previous games, Odin's Sphere, Dragon's Crown, and 13 Sentinels, or something like that. I believe I saw advertisement for something like that on their website, which is always fun. even though the games are not related to each other. It's always fun to see something between them. And next, let's open the card game box. Wow, I already love the box itself here. So 2 to 4 players, and playtime is like 30 to 120 minutes. I believe it's heavily depends on how many players you have, how long the game will last. So I did see some sort of like introduction video, which was like explaining the basic rules, how to set up the game, and like example rounds, how the game progresses. So I have some sort of idea how it works. But very likely I still have to go through the rule book to fully understand it. So yeah, explaining the different cards here, units, items, locations, kind of these items that you buy from the store into your deck to build the deck. Critical cards, destruction, curses, round cards, and I believe that's simply the rules card to make sure you remember how the phases work and so on, and the little scoreboard. So basically it's like competitive style game where each player tries to build up more score than the other during each round, and winner of each round gets like points and so on. And here's like the starting phase, how each player draws 3 units to make sure they have enough units to make their deck. And the explanation how round goes. So starting with draw phase, everyone draws 5 cards from their decks. And then there's the the phase where the locations give you more resources and other little things like that. And you buy new units, items, and even more locations to buff your units and so on. And then there's the kind of like the combat phase. Each player puts 5 cards from their deck to table, and then they play 1 card per player, taking turns and counting their power and points and so on. Some examples of how to count your scores, like first card here is the item card giving power for your sword units. And last is the result phase, where everyone counts their score and winner of the round is decided. So yeah, seems rather interesting. And this is kind of funny little extra here, having a little comic of the card game with characters from the game playing it. So yeah, quite funny little item. And here's the basic setup of the game. So nice use of the little setup rule paper to include little funny little comic on the other side. So what else we have here? A lot of cards. So I believe this little things given to like the starting player of round, to make sure everyone remembers whose turn it's to start. Little items to keep track of, like some special cards where you make choices, so you can leave little marks on the cards. And lastly we have quite a lot of cards themselves. I'm guessing we shouldn't go through all of them, but let's at least take a quick look at them. What kind of cards we have here. So little rule cards to explain the phases for each player and explaining the icons and such. So each player can have their little cards to check the rules if they are forgetting some of the rules. And then we have the destruction cards. Not exactly sure how they work, but if I have to guess, maybe they are like shuffled into your deck in some special circumstances, and if you draw them from your deck, maybe they destroy one of your location cards or something like that. Simply guessing here. And next we have the curse cards. I do remember these from the introduction video. There was an example of like playing Black Knight, who is kind of strong unit card, but the downside of that strong unit is that you have to draw one of these curse cards into your deck, and it kind of like limits how many cards you have in your playing deck if you happen to draw one of these curse cards. So kind of riskful unit to play. And rest of the cards here seem to be like the location cards. So for example, kind of like village that gives you resources. This one giving you 3 gold to buy new units. This one gives you like extra draws. And so on. Powers up your critical cards. So kind of like buffs to your chosen playstyle. Buffs your guard units or shield units. Forest also gives you more draws and more simple buff cards. And here's one of the examples how the little markers work. If I can get this open. So for example, you have this shipyard, and before you start the combat phase you have to choose which unit to buff with this card. For example, you leave it on one of these icons and you remember you are buffing the X units or whatever you choose. So yeah, these are rather handy little markers like that to be used on the cards. And here's one example of the curse cards. Buffing up something but also giving you a curse. So that was the locations. Then we have the item cards. A lot of money, because of course you do need money to buy more items and units and things. And here are the items like the buffing your sword units, spear units, axe units, like giving more power to your specific units. So it's nice, kind of like going for specific play style with your deck and buffing up your critical cards. And more curse related items. And more cards where you have to choose between the icons. So that's all the item cards. And at the end here we have the scorecards, so you can keep track of the scores. Oh, I think the red ones might be simply for the scorekeeping, and the clear ones might be meant to use with the other cards. So yeah, up to 50 points, but then there's this little marker to keep track of higher points, like if you have 51 points. And here we have the critical cards. So each player can play, for example, units doing critical, kind of like critical attacks, and you draw one critical card, and at the end of the attack phase you see how much extra power you get. And there was also some sort of rules on each critical card that kind of give you extra modifiers for each round. So if one of the players fulfills the requirement or active critical card, they also draw some critical cards for themselves. And last set of cards here is the unit set, and here's also the round cards. So first round giving 1 point, second round also, but third round gives you 2 points. Yeah, basically like 4 rounds and then some extra rounds after that. And I suppose let's go through the unit cards as well, especially because I feel like these are most interesting, because you can see the Vanillaware's art style on these unit cards. So we have basic fighter, no any extra rules, simply giving you 2 power as sword unit. And same idea with like spear unit. And axe unit as well. But then we have shielding spear unit with some extra rules for it. And here is example of those critical units. When you play the swordman here, you also draw a critical card for yourself. And units that give you extra money. Another critical unit. Many types on this unit. Oh, here's example of those destruction cards. So these knights cause the destruction, as well as these witches. Oh, both destruction and curse. Seems like rather scary unit. Wizard also causing destruction. And here's the Black Knight that I saw in the introduction video. Thief, rather weak unit, but giving you extra money. So you are stronger on your next round. Warrior, kind of like blocking the enemy's shielding units. Special rules. And some of these angel units with wings. And elven units as well. And elven archers giving you extra draws. So yeah, that was all the unit cards. Seems like interesting little card game, and it probably takes a moment to go through all those special rules on each card to completely understand all the special card specific rules. But yeah, I am quite excited for that card game. Can't wait to play it at some point. And at the end of the video here, let's go through the art book. Seems rather thick art book, so this might take a moment. But but when it comes to Vanillaverse artwork, I don't even mind. This first artwork seems rather familiar. Was this in the very first teaser video for the game, when it was like teased in the prologue version of 13 Sentinels? For some reason that reminds me of that teaser trailer. And contents list, so yeah, little over 130 pages here. And quick introduction from the director or creator's message. And as usual for these art books, starts with character artwork of the main characters, Alain and Scarlet. So, Lord and Priestess. And some cute little icons of the characters. And legs. What does shiny during the fights? Maybe it's more like during the story scenes. Kind of hard to see the middle here. But next we have Chloe. And Joseph. Joseph. And Rodrigue. And yeah, I love this. Character artwork so much. Adele. So we have our knights. Clive. Open. And Travis. I'm guessing these little icons are like during the map view of the game, and these are during the combat scenes. Rolf. And Bruno, I believe. Next we have Sharon and Horse. Magic based characters. Jana. Such a Finnish sounding name, Jana. Always kind of funny to hear so familiar sounding names in foreign games. Belenis and Monica. And that as well could be rather common name here, as well as Nina. Mille and Briss. Guitar, Plow and Miriam. So I'm guessing these are more like the basic units that you can hire, because they have rather similar poses. Millicent and Koma. Tatiana and Selfie. Scary looking shaman here. No, and Ilenia. I like her attack pose. Very expressive looking animations. Kianar and Mandra. And Pawn and Gaston. Yeah, funny to see even like the basic characters in here, or like basic meaning like the kind of usually they are like randomly generated characters that you can hire during the gameplay. But considering they have like their unique voice actors and such, I suppose they might be more like scripted characters in here instead of like randomly generated. And Cornea NPCs, so villagers and such, and even some animals that you can see in the villages. Oh, and then we go to the dragon card characters, so different factions. First one was Cornea, and now dragon card. So Gilbert, being the prince of Drakengard, and Varsnia, cute characters in Dragon Guard, seems like. Except for Belengaria here. She looks rather scary instead of cute. Dark Marquis. Lilia and Aramis. Mazaran and Lisa. Prim and Hilda. So seems like each faction has their like unique like jobs for their characters. Krosta, Jeremy, Maria. I wonder why she got full page. Yuka and geese. And the villagers of Dragon Guard. And next we have Elfheim. So I'm guessing the elven characters of the game. Rosalinde. Elthrind. I wonder how confusing the names are going to be. Isirion. Valana. So yeah, right away the elven characters having very distinct style compared to the human characters. Karadmia. Rinarangos. Very confusing names, you know. Lydial. I like her outfit there. Celeste. Kiri. And Archina. And I'm guessing the villagers of the, what was the name? Elfheim. Elfheim villagers. And next we have Pastrius. Unifi. Snow Ranger. So are we going to see more like warm clothing? I'm guessing Pastrias is like northern faction. This even the job is Snow Ranger. More art and Ramona. So we have like were-lions and were-owls. That must be first time I have ever heard of were-owls. I mean oh, it was were-lion and were-bear. Werewolf is kind of familiar from other stories, but especially were-owl sounds rather unique. So yeah, more like these, can we say, beast style characters. Bertrand and Gobil. Dinah. And Conrad. Lyman, Ryman, and Elcor. And the Pastrian villagers and more warm clothing, so I'm guessing it's the northern faction. And next, Albion characters, so seems like the angel characters in the game, starting with Ocles and Rhaenys. Omerus and Fortgia. Nigel and Sanadil. Jerome and Alan. Pope. Brodry and Hodor. And next we have the Albion villagers. And next, Genoira characters. Galerius. Baldoro. Very scary looking necromancer using skeletons for fighting. Narcissus. Theodora. Horonius and Bersarius. So I'm guessing these are like the villain characters of the story, because less of those animation pictures of the characters. And here are like the different jobs that we see: fighter, skull, soldier, or classes of the characters. Mercenary, warrior, gladiator. Funny to see how they used these classes on the unit cards of the card game, like the fighter here. And shooter, thief and hunter, knight, hoplite and swordman. White knight and black knight, cleric, wizard, shaman and witch. Weaver knight and griffon knight, elf fencer and elf archer. And these werewolves, werebear, werefox and wereowl. And the angel classes: feather sword, feather rod, feather bow and feather shield. I find this kind of funny. And next we have like world map, but at this point I have quite a lot of artwork still left, but I run out of space on my camera, so I have to make a little jump cut here. Okay, the camera should be empty again, so we can go through the rest of this art book. So we have the world map of Febris here, and showing the different factions that we saw the characters of. And then we have a bunch of background artwork of each location or faction, or starting with Coronia. And yeah, these background artworks look so nice. So I'm guessing these are simply like story backgrounds, but yeah, these are so detailed. I love these. I was praising the character artwork being so unique and recognizable by Vanillaware, but yeah, also these backgrounds are so nice. And very different styles with these different locations as well. I wonder how huge the game is going to be, because so many characters and so many different locations and seems like quite huge. Okay. And then Dragon Guard. So that was only one of the locations in the game. And I thought that was already so much. We have so many different areas for each of the factions. So you have the Dragon Guard. Seems more like this desert style areas. Or I think it looked more deserted on the world map. Then Elfheim being almost complete opposite with so much green forestry there, part of the world. Lovely waterfalls and all. And also the elven buildings have a completely different style for them. Also more scary looking part of the forest with dead trees and such. And Bastless next with more snowy areas. I like that Viking style ship there. So yeah, a lot of Nordic inspirations here. And yeah, this background's so lovely how light is coming from between the dark clouds there. Beautiful scenery here. Some of the backgrounds are rather dark, so it's harder to see all of the details. Lovely hot spring there. And next Albion. Now this looks like fall or autumn. So nice scenery here as well. So beautiful. And next we have fields. So I believe these are like during the world map scene of the gameplay, where you can see the different cities and towns and such. Again, starting Cornea. Tracking card. Elfheim. Pastress. And Albion. And different shops as well. And merchants of the shops. I like these images as well. So much detail on all of these. I simply love Vanillaware for their so lovely artwork. So easily you can simply sink into just staring the artwork and admiring all the little details. And I can't wait to see all of these areas in the game when they are animated with like the characters' movement and all that. Seeing these scenes in life during the gameplay must be amazing. I almost feel like I'm spoiling myself by seeing all this beforehand. And next we are going to get quite hungry. I am already a little bit hungry. I haven't eaten it for today, so looking at these nice pictures of food, yeah. We keep praising Vanillaware for their artwork, but yeah, another thing they do really well is making these so tasty looking artworks of different dishes. Looking at this makes me want to taste everything here. Everything looks so nice and tasty. Even something simple as bread can be made to look so enticing. But yeah, now we have simply some item icons. So during the menus and such, seeing the different items, nice to have different icons for all of the different items in the same category. Gives you the sense of progression. When you get the upgrades for your weapons and such. And then here some early drawings. So some portrait pictures of important story characters, as well as some early drawings of the different classes, I believe. By the way, is drawing typoed here? Or am I? Getting a little bit tired at the end of such a long video. But yeah, nice to see some early concepts and compare these to final artwork in the game. Even some locations have early drawings for them. And that's everything for that quite huge art book. So yeah, quite simple box, but there was quite a lot of things managed to fit in that little box. So game itself I am quite excited for, especially now seeing so many exciting locations and characters, and those foods look so tasty. And it's a funny idea to not simply have a soundtrack of your game, but having this kind of like a 16-bit arranged version of the soundtrack. That's kind of funny idea. I can't wait to actually hear those 16-bit versions of the songs. That sounds quite interesting and also kind of fitting for such old style of genre game. And card game, that seems like I was getting 2 games in the same box, and I am so glad with this whole card game thing. Going through all of these cards was quite nice, and I can't wait to go through all the details in the rule book about the whole card game, and at some point finally trying the card game. And yeah, art book was so nice. But yeah, that might be because Vanillaware is so great with their artwork. But yeah, also like the it's not simply just going through the characters. There's so much like this background artwork and and also the pages of tasty food and all that. It's so nice art book. So yeah, this might be I've been buying so many limited editions this year already, and this might be my favorite so far this year. There's so much content and quite unique content as well. Not just a game, soundtrack and art book, something really unique feeling when you get something like that extra card game with the game. So yeah, it's really nice. Limited edition, I like it quite a lot. And I believe it ended up being my longest video so far because I had to make it in 2 takes. I hope it wasn't too boring. But yeah, thanks for watching and bye.